In Uganda, emergencies such as floods, road crashes, and landslides are a harsh reality. But amidst these challenges, hope thrives through the Uganda Red Cross Society, serving communities since 1964. Supported by partners like ECHO and the Austrian Red Cross, the Pilot Programmatic Project equips local heroes with life-saving first aid skills.
First aid for first responders is a course. It is a comprehensive course that aims at providing skills and competences to volunteers and first aiders of Uganda Red Cross Society to deal with disasters and other complicated emergencies.
In early 2024, first aid training began with 15 participants, expanding to 98 volunteers across 6 branches. Each trained responder is equipped with first aid kits and uniforms, ready to act when emergencies strike.
During these trainings, we were aiming at making sure that volunteers are equipped with adequate skills that can even handle complicated emergencies.
We are prepared now for responses because we have the skills, we have the equipment to use, and we are ready on alert. For any response, we can respond now. These skills that we have attained, we have been able to exercise them in various ways. One, we have responded to road traffic accidents. We have also evacuated a mother who gave birth. And then when we reached the hospital, we found another mother who had given a birth to a very healthy baby, but the midwives were pronouncing the mother died. So on examining the mother at least had some life. Life had not yet gone. So we opted on their request, asking them. So we opted to help the mother, and then we performed a CPR skill. And we only did 3 rounds. The mother came back to life. But the communication was already, the mother has died, the mother has died. So the mother came back.
With support from the program, the PPP program, the branches were able to be supported with first responders kits. These kits that these gentlemen are carrying. This kit is very comprehensive, and it is well equipped. It's to support the different emergencies, RTA, disasters, and all the different emergencies that we can experience in the field. This kit can easily be carried. Okay, it has straps that very easily to be carried when somebody is in the field. It is well equipped with items that a first responder can always use. Most of the items, like the trauma items, like the SAM splints, the pelvic binder, a pocket mask to help us in case somebody is not breathing, bandages, plasters, just in case somebody is bleeding. We have an equipment that can always support in case somebody needs ventilation, the BP machines, stethoscopes, and very many other items. This kit has a very important item, which you call a tourniquet. In case somebody has catastrophic bleeding, you can always use this tourniquet to control the bleeding. So, in a nutshell, this kit is very, very good, and it really helps first responders when they're in the field.
There was a time during sports days for secondary students, I responded to casualties that I found on the road with a few gadgets that were given to me, and referred them to the nearby health centers.
Stories like Vincent's reflect the program's success. In Bundibugyo, volunteers tackled floods in Intoroko, evacuating hundreds and providing essential aid.
Before, when we were not trained, we were not able to respond to such incidences. For example, you have found when this water is just reducing, but before we had water, we could use canoes here and crossing in these communities. But since then, we were trained in responding to such incidences. At least nowadays, we are not facing a lot of problems as we used it before, because now sometimes we could just bump in, we just enter like anyhow, we enter in these waters, doing that, and remember in this water we have crocodiles inside there. But since we are trained, we know now how we can handle such situations.
After the training of first respondent, I gained experience and confidence. Before that one, I couldn't trust myself of what I was doing, but after the training, I gained confidence and I know what to do. We had mudslide in Bulemez village, Vonaiga parish, Katewa sub-county, where we lost 4 people and 96 households were affected, and 500 people were affected in that disaster. As a first respondent, we had to reach on the ground. We give first aid because some people were injured. We gave referrals where we called an ambulance to come and take the people who were injured to the hospital. We did community engagement, talking with the people to evacuate.
Specifically, we have been able to do early action and early warning, and this is through creating awareness about the outbreak, the flooding, because Kasese is a prone area to disaster and is in specific to floods. So we use the community radios that were installed in prone areas like Karusandara, and then also the municipality and Klembe. These radios help us disseminate the information about the early warning.
Recently we had issues of mpox, especially at the border of Bukonzo West, where we had volunteers that got engaged in disseminating early information, sensitizing the communities. They got engaged with these volunteers, training them on how to handle the situations, and we have spread the early warning information, the Red Cross dissemination. We have tackled everything.
During the identification of these illnesses in the transit center, mostly what we normally do, we do create awareness among the community where the refugees are living, both shelters, both in the compound. So at the moment, when that thing is like that, when we identify like a case where someone is, we are not sure whether it's cholera or it's dysentery, before someone is referred, we at least have to be sure of what has happened so that we are able to give this referral based on what we have seen with our eyes, so that the medical people can give the right medication.
Empowering communities is key. Volunteers like Kari James in Kisoro extend first aid training to refugees, while others train border cyclists to handle accidents and crashes.
FAFA training has been very important to us as a team and to me as an individual. You know, things change in science, and now FAFA training updated us, because basically me have been in first aid for all those years, but there were some new ideas, new knowledge and new skills, especially in responding to even difficult emergencies.
From the experience and the training that we had, the skills that we were given, I can confidently tell that I can respond to a bigger disaster or any other accidents. Because take an example, if there is an accident and maybe a motorcycle has collided with a vehicle, in case of any catastrophic bleeding, in case of any compound or simple injuries, whether head injury, whether pelvic injury, whether it is on arm, whether it is on the leg, whether I can be able to respond because we are given all the skills.
The ripple effect of the first aid program reaches schools and local businesses. In Mbarara, over 180 students learned first aid, empowering the next generation of responders.
We are trying to extend to the skills to the local communities and also the youth, especially in secondary schools. We are training the border raiders, and we are preparing them for the Christmas festival season. We are expecting a lot of road crashes. So we are training them how they can handle casualties at that stage. and this will help us to have a broad knowledge sharing with those local communities.
What basically changed is that we got more training, we got more experience and exposure. That wasn't the same as when we had the basic first aid training. With this first responders training, we were exposed to more and also gave us more skills and encouragement that we can actually respond to more critical cases such as severe bleeding and handling casualties with extra care. There's an incident we responded to that was immediately a couple of weeks after the training. It was along the Mbarara road. This was whereby there was a collision, there was a head-on collision with two cars, and there were a number of casualties whereby we're having 4 that were injured with severe bleeding, and the rest were, we can't presume that they were dead, but they were in a pretty messed up condition. The condition wasn't that good. So we responded immediately. We stopped the bleeding. We had our ambulance. We immediately put them on our stretchers and rushed them off to Mbarara Regional Referral Hospital for further treatment.
We met an incident of a woman who had given birth on the road, and the baby was already out. And it was drizzling, and she was just like 2 kilometers off Chituti Health Center 4. She had her caretaker, and I think she expected to reach the hospital, but it came as an emergency birth. She was right in the middle of the road, and we had to intervene as first responders. I stopped the driver. I told the driver to stop, and we got people standby looking, but without helping her. So I immediately swung into action, asked 2 people to stand and direct traffic to stop, because the lady was right in the middle and we couldn't disconnect the cord there and then. So having secured the traffic, the next thing was privacy. I just got 2 standby people and removed some of the lassos that she had, because she had packed her bag and she was en route to the hospital. We just provided some privacy and we're able to help her out. Having been trained, and always move with gloves. So I used the tip of the glove, the tip as a tie. I disconnected 2 tips, used this as a tie, 2 centimeters off the cord, and got another one, used it as a tie, 5 centimeters off the cord, and that is what helped us in the cord, in the ties.
The First Aid for First Responders program shows that timely care saves lives. With continued support, Uganda Red Cross Society aims to expand this initiative, ensuring no life is lost due to lack of immediate care.